Episode 5. We're a little late getting started tonight, but we are starting. And we're going to discuss early considerations for the most important person on a film shoot. We're going to bring up some people to consider. I have one person in mind as the most important person that we could hire for this position, or a good person, a candidate that we should consider for the most important position. And we'll discuss him as soon as Mike gets here. And everybody else can shuffle in as we talk. This is a boring section, you know? If I was watching this back, I would skip ahead a little bit. You know, if you were watching this episode, I would skip ahead just a touch, just a little bit. Let's see. Welcome. We're just waiting for Mike. He should be here soon, and then we can get going. In the meantime, feel free to ask me anything you like. I'm here. I'm paying attention. How's everybody doing? I hope good. Despite all the wackiness that the world has to offer currently. Trying to stay positive. I see very white-pilled futures for everybody if we maintain this kind of course that we're on. Let's see. Mike is... I deserve to wait, you know, because I am a little bit late getting started, so I'm not sure where he's at. Let's see here. There he is. All right, fantastic. All right, accept. I'm gonna hit it again. Accept. Go live with. This is the Hello, sir.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Does my
Fantastic.
lighting look cinematic?
It does. You look like a guy who is, you know, changing the future from a dark cave.
That's my Tucker Carlson laugh.
I mean, it's also like,
Oh, you froze.
I think
There we
who
go.
could also fit that description is Bin Laden, changing the future from a dark cave. You know.
Yeah, have you seen his what's on his files? Like his it's awesome. He was
I
like a fan.
haven't.
He was like playing Zelda or something.
It doesn't surprise me.
Let me find it. And he had like the bloodlines of the Illuminati in his like the PDF.
He was just he was
Osama bin Laden files, content, what movies, games, or books did he like? Here we go. Let's go right now. This is going to help the production of Rideshare, which is what we are writing on
That's
this episode of
that is a
Mike and
working
Tim Write a
title.
Script.
That is a working title, and I really I keep mulling over the real title that you and I both know that we won't reveal for forever, probably until we're finished.
I already
And
forget it, but I know it's in my notes. But
it's good. It's good. I think it's good.
so he liked the animated films Ants, Cars, Chicken Little, Ice Age Dawn of the Dinosaurs, low-key slept on. Three Musketeers, Jackie Chan Adventures, and he liked Naruto. He played. Oh, he watched Batman Gotham Knight.
Nice.
He had a copy of the famous Charlie Bit My Finger YouTube video. He had documentaries about himself. I mean, like that's the thing though. If you're really out here killing on these streets, like who want to be watching documentaries on documentaries about yourself? Like, because you want to know what the world knows. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like,
Yeah.
anyways, video games now. Final Fantasy VII, Super Mario Bros. And Animal Crossing. Delta Force Extreme 2. I don't know anything about that. He read Noam Chomsky. That's actually very interesting.
Uh,
Bob Woodward's Obama's Wars. Paul Kennedy's Rise and Fall. Okay.
this is all Bin
Um.
Laden. This is Bin Laden's like
Yes.
meme folder, essentially. This is Bin Laden's meme folder, right?
Yeah. I bet he's reading Bill Cooper or something. Yeah. Because he's like, yeah, this guy like knows what's up. Like, I don't know. But this is very fast.
He's a
Sometimes when I
gamer.
hear these things, I feel like the people that found it were like given an order to put stuff on the list to fuck
Yeah.
with people. Like
Yes.
maybe it was all like Arabic. It was all like
He wa-
Rajindar fuck Sakira Volume
If,
2 in
if you
Arabic. Like
if you take like a sample of the types of guys that are tuned into this narrative that we've all been following for years, you could do an AI recreation of this, like fake recreation of this stuff with search results from the demographic that you want to, psyop basically, and be like Naruto, or putting Naruto in there.
yeah,
Um,
like let's say he attacked Japan, then he's reading, some book about the assassination that happened in the 70s with the guy with the, you know what I mean? Like it would
yeah,
be something
he's,
like that.
he's watching Death Note like over and over. Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, like whatever would impact what they want people to feel. I mean, I don't even. I mean, I could say that about what's happening now, but I just don't know. I like to have hope, but I also go with the it's real, but a humiliation ritual kind
Well,
of thing too. You
it's
know.
it's real insofar as a lot of people believe it is. So now there's like a huge swath of people that are in that, what Don Jolly would, at least the term came to me through Don Jolly, was their cosmographic reality. You know, the
What do you
all
know about him? Like, why? Like, you probably know as much as Jay knows about him, about why he like doesn't do shit anymore.
it becomes overwhelming, I think, to a certain degree. I know a lot of guys that were just like, I'm checking out, like I know how horrible it is, and I'm going to try to go and live an existence that I think is, more conducive to my sanity, because some guys also, I think Don Jolly is somebody who, his political commentary, I categorized him as more of a Bernie bro back in the day, but he was, like that's where he came from anyways, in my measure. But he's a really good writer, just really well spoken, and I thought his take on everything was just the best take that I had seen. And I bought that first issue of Dagger Mag in print, and I was super bummed when that didn't continue, because he kind of parted ways around after that. So I don't. He just went dark, and you know,
And
I'm
then the
still.
Sam Hyde thing happened or whatever.
Yeah, I remember him doing a few videos with Sam. I remember the sauna truck video back in
That's
the
a
day.
classic. Yeah.
Yeah. And the discussion about dealing with debt in the back of the pickup, that was a really good talk. And then the theater of the air stuff I thought was really brilliant and hilarious, and very like, just, I don't know,
Yeah.
just
Did they
funny.
actually
Just funny.
get like a public broadcasting like place and shoot it there, or what do you know about that?
Yeah, I think that's what they did, is they just went and used like public access equipment and did that kind of whole thing.
They have that in Philly. It's called Philly Cam, and I like might actually want to do it, but I feel like I'm just gonna go in there and like cause some controversy. But I kind of just want to do that and like see what I can do.
Yeah, well,
Also,
I
like
mean,
you can get hands on gear too. So
yeah, exactly. That's the biggest thing, is just getting access to the gear, and a whole network of people that probably are looking for great stuff to shoot, but don't always have great people and great ideas. You know what I mean? Like,
well, 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 that's the thing though. Like with Philly Cam, you can apply to have your own show on the thing, and they'll just review you and be
Mm-hmm.
like, "What do you want to do? Can you follow these rules?"
Mm-hmm.
And then you got a show basically on public broadcasting on their like website or fucking channel or something or YouTube. But you gotta like follow. So like, and I could do that. Like, I could be like, I want to make a film review channel. I mean,
Yeah.
thing, and then they would give me like fucking probably like $200 a month, some like terribly low amount of money. I don't care, And then I just show up and I do it, and then I like have local filming. This is like something I've thought of where it's like I could really do it if I just shut up and follow the rules, and then
Yeah.
and I'm like okay with that. Like I hate like this idea that like everything. I mean, that's what we're
Yeah.
trying to do with this film. Is like I hate this idea that everything has to be like witty and edgy all the time. Like it's
It
like
has to be contrarian. Like it can't be accessible by to the normies. Like making it accessible to the normies is like key, I
yeah.
think.
I mean, that's like what me and Jay talk about too a lot. Like where he's like he hates like lady ballers and all that shit. Like he hates it. Like he hates
Mhm.
all these like weird like right wing like
I don't
people that
even
are like
Yeah, I don't even know if I know that one.
that's like the Daily Wire comedy movie that like flopped.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Okay.
he
Yeah,
hates that. Like
I
me and
remember.
him like don't. I mean, he
I
doesn't
remember
hate
this.
it. He just doesn't think. And neither do I. Is like, oh my god, we're like gonna like no. You do it just by making something good first, and then maybe
Yeah.
if you have some like bias, it might come out in a natural manner, right?
Yeah.
That's why you see films like One Battle After Another that are like absolute garbage. Like the reason it's successful of a film is because it's extremely acted well and it's
Mhm.
shot very well. But it's a garbage movie and it's complete propaganda.
Yeah.
But there was a technical they took a very careful approach to the filmmaking that made it I would say worth people watching it to a degree. Like I think people should like go watch these films that are complete propaganda
Yeah.
and just like because a lot of them are like actually done well and they're done by the best people in the business technically. Like
Yeah.
this thing where it's
Absolutely.
like I'm above watching stuff because it's mainstream. It's like go fuck yourself.
That's why they
Like
get those jobs because they are really talented. They are really good, and
yeah, like it's yeah.
talking about people that follow the rules, they're willing to follow the rules that are set before them so that they can just make the propagandistic movie so they can get paid to make movies. You know what I mean? Like that's what they're about.
And it's not like everybody that works on these movies is like in some grand conspiracy to make like something that like is supposed to ruin Western values. Like nobody's thinking about that. They're just like, oh, Leo movie, sure. Like my production
Or
company, I know a guy and he wants me to work on it. It's about immigrant. Oh, whatever, sure. Who cares?
and
Like yeah,
depending on what department they're hired for on the movie, they don't even look at the script. They don't know what they're making. They're looking at, I have to rig a camera on a car for this stunt. How am I going to do that? And how much is it going to cost? They don't even read the story. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
Like I'm on set. Like I'm on set as a production assistant, and I'm
yeah,
like fucking intensely reading like what's gonna happen, and then I'm like, yo, you should get this angle from this
yeah,
thing so it has like the moon in the background, and they're like, yo, like we already fucking figured this out like 4 months ago. Can you stop giving us
yeah, right, exactly.
recommendation? And they're like they're not rude about it. Like they're not. I still talk with them. They're cool. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah,
And like they've got me other jobs, but like and the being like they that ambition gets you a long way. But most of the time, like they've already figured it out like months
right, right.
ago.
That's
And
the thing. It's like by the time by the time you're reading the script, someone who wrote it has already been thinking about it for years. So whatever ideas that you might want to throw at it, you already don't know it as well as the writer. And then when you get to the production, they've already planned everything out. And then if you try to throw out something like, oh, I think, like you were saying, you have a shot idea or something. They're like, yeah, but that doesn't cut together with what we've already planned out. So don't even bother coming up with anything. Because the other thing is when you're on these bigger productions, the moment you start improvising, the amount of money just goes through the roof. Like you miss a
yeah,
day or two, and
yeah,
it's
we were renting
10
streets
to
in
20 grand.
Kensington.
What's that?
Like we were like renting a street in Kensington, like you know Kensington, Philadelphia, where all the zombies, the drug dealing, the all that shit happens. Like
Yeah.
we had like three cops around us at all times, like because they had to pay blank an hour to the cops, and then we're shooting, and then like. But I think this was in. It was
Yeah.
a very carefully, anyways. But
Yeah, it's all
yeah,
aimed at like crowd control or goyim control. You know what I mean? When you're shooting, if you don't have cops standing around, then people start showing up. They feel more bold, like they'll just walk up and they'll be like, "Oh, what do you guys shoot?" They'll just start talking to people and getting in the way, and
no,
so
I was,
crowd,
yeah, I was the
crowd
assistant. I was
control.
telling people, you got to go.
Yeah,
Like
right.
I was like, that was my job. I was not getting paid for a week, and I was just like literally screaming. I was like screaming at me and this like chick. We were both production assistants. We're screaming at people that are local to the area, just like it's my street and all this shit. And we're like, hey, like we're shooting a movie. We got cops. Like get the fuck out of here. But I was like really nice about it, obviously.
Right.
Um, and so I have a question for you. Like, what's the biggest production you've worked on,
Um. Well, like
money wise?
money wise, like the budget it had.
Yes.
Um, there was a Citibank commercial with some Olympians that I worked on. I was the DIT, and I was working for the DP got me the job. Now that was only a 3-day shoot with a 1-day load in and a load out on either end. So it was a 1 week shoot, and it was in New York. And we had built this set, and we had this bobsledder chick. Like we were doing all this slow mo, high speed footage. Like that was a commercial shoot, so that's massive amounts of money over the course of a day, and it's always very catered and comfortable and in a
Nice.
studio. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It wasn't a film, it wasn't a narrative production, but that was definitely one of the biggest budget things that had like a, I was the data intermediary technician, so I was handling the footage and copying and duplicating everything and drives and delivering drives and stuff like that for that. But
Yeah, but I've done that before, but like at a much smaller scale. Yeah.
the biggest movie I was, the two biggest movies I was ever on, and I think I made it in, and I was an extra on both of them, was Revolutionary Road with Kate Winslet, which was directed by Sam Mendes, and but that was filmed by Roger Deakins, who I was excited to watch Roger Deakins work, and that was cool to see him work. And the AD on the particular day of the shoot that I was on was I forget his name, but he was Scorsese's AD, and I did get to talk to him about like AD being a AD and like what people are looking for, and he was just like, make sure everything's organized and on time. That is literally all I do, is make sure everything stays organized and on time. And
Yeah.
that is the guy that's talking to everybody, so you want to have somebody with like a calm, cool demeanor as well. Like whenever I get an AD, I'm always looking for somebody who's he can deliver bad news, he or she, whatever, can deliver bad news in the right way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what AD is definitely the best. When I did a shoot once, it was a 2-day shoot, and the first day I didn't have an AD, and I talked to the crew, and we were a little behind, and I was like, what could I do to speed things up and do better tomorrow? And they all, two of them were like, hire an AD. And I was like, okay. So I was on the phone that night, and I had an AD the next day, and we had a 12-hour day, and it was very, very good, and everything went to plan, and all he did was just come and remind me. He was like, you only have time to do this take, and then you have to move on. And I was like,
What's
okay.
the bigger movie that you did?
Oh, Revolutionary Road with Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet. It was like it was a total anti-American dream, like 19 set in the 50s, I think, like post World War II couple, and it's just like it's kind of a miserable movie. But I was one of the extras in a bar scene where everyone's dancing, and And the other one that I was on was The Hangover in Vegas. I was living in Vegas at the time, and I actually I actually was told that I wasn't going to be coming, or I wasn't told individually that I wasn't coming back, but we had a break, and Zach Galifianakis totally had me thrown off the set.
Why?
Well, I was hungry and I knew, and I was like, I was looking at the set and stuff and looking at my pay, and I was like, I'm not coming back, so I might as well do something fun and do whatever I want. So I went into the tent where all the food was, which was one tent over from where they had all the extras staying, and they didn't even they had water for us. That was it. And I was like, fuck this. I'm going to get food. So I went in and got food, and I saw Bradley Cooper and Zach Galifianakis just sitting there, just kind of vegging. And I was like, oh, I got to say something. I can't not say something. Because I was like, I don't care. I had already shot my part. I had no, and we were taking a break, and I was like, oh, I do not want to come back for the next day or the second half of the day. Because they'll come to the extras and look at us and then be like, oh, this person did a good job. We should keep them around. And like as an extra, you can earn more days, and I did on Revolutionary Road. I was there for 3 days because they just kept being like, oh, Tim doesn't say anything. He does his job. He's on time. So they kept bringing me back. But then on this one, I was like, I had already known what it was like, and I was not impressed. You know, I was just like doing it to make some money and meet some people or whatever. And then I go in, get some food, and I turn around and I see Galifianakis and Bradley Cooper, and I go, hey, just like that. And I go, they look at me like, who the fuck are you to even be talking to me? And I go, I recognize you guys from the movies. And then I walked out. Didn't even wait for them to say anything, and I just walked out like as a joke. And then like an hour later, they lined us up on the tarmac. We were in this big empty parking lot by Old Town Vegas, by the old strip. And they lined us all up because they were just picking who was staying or whatever. And I could see from across the parking lot, Zach Galifianakis stepped out of the door where I had seen them. And he turned to his PA, whatever PA was assigned to him. And he goes like this. He leans over to her and he points at me and he goes like this. And it like made like a motion like, get him, don't bring him back. And I looked at him and I pointed from across the tarmac and I just started laughing because it was like a moment between him and me and nobody else. But I knew he was saying, don't let that kid come back. And I was like, oh.
How old are you?
I was like 24, 25. It's just
That's
like,
funny.
it was those years where I was like, I don't give a shit about anything, man. It's like I'm in Vegas and my girlfriend's gonna break up with me, and I'm just gonna do whatever I want, and that is what I did that day. But
Did your girlfriend break up with you?
yes, she did. But she's doing great. So am I. And that was like 10 years ago. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, that ties into the title of this and what I wanted to discuss with you, which was the most important role on a movie. Do you know do you think you know what I'm leading to on this? Like if you look at the whole crew of your movie, like you've got your camera department, you got your lighting department, you've got your actors, you got your extras, you got your art department, you've got your production people, you've got all of this, right?
Yeah.
The most important person, in my opinion, is the caterer. That's the first person sometimes I will think of before even the crew is how much money does it cost to get a chef to work for a month on a film set, you know? Like what's a month to a chef?
Yeah. Do you know
So
anybody in Rehoboth or what?
not Rehoboth, but I know somebody in Connecticut that might be able to come down to Delaware. So I was thinking
I
more
mean,
in
I
terms
know
of,
people like.
yeah, I figured you would know people too, but I wanted to throw this guy's name out just because I also really like him a lot, and you can watch some videos of him online. If you go to I think it's moonshots.com. Hold on. drinkmoonshots.com is one of his websites. And if you look, his name's John Moffat. He was a lineman for the Seattle Seahawks, but he left the NFL and then moved back home, and he's been, just developing his own kind of healthy alternative kind
Yeah.
of food truck.
Nice.
But he also is kind of an actor and a performer. And if you go to the website and scroll down, you can find some TV appearances, and you can see him just who he is and hear him talk. And I thought it would be good to not only promote John Moffat because he's a good guy and he knows what's up. You know what I mean? He knows what's up. He's totally kind of a truth seeker type dude. But you'll never hear him talk about it publicly. But I think he would be my first. I would ask him what he would need for a month in Delaware to work on the movie and to cater it and be in it because I think he could be the wise old sage character that works in a food truck if we wanted to do that.
I thought we were gonna have it be the weed dealer though.
He could be that too. He could be that
But
too.
I mean, how old is he though? I was thinking like a guy in his like mid-20s.
He's like late 20s, early 30s, something like that.
That
You
could
know what I
work.
mean? Like he could play it like a more of a burned out, older,
But
like
don't you want to like try to avoid outsourcing people to like Delaware? Like you
yes,
wouldn't.
but right now I'm trying to put I think of it this way. If I could pick anybody in the world, I would pick John Moffat to do that. But
Yeah,
so that's what I say to you is pick the best if you know a person who has a food truck or a restaurant, and I think you do, right? In
yeah. My
Delaware.
dad knows somebody that caters like stuff. Like my dad
Right.
probably knows a bunch of people that cater shit. So yeah.
So that's but discussing who's going to cater, I think, is an important thing to have that first. I don't know. Have you ever seen Jodorowsky's Dune, the documentary?
Yeah.
Remember when he's talking about trying to get Orson Welles to be in the movie, and he's like, what chef do you love?" And he's like, "This guy," and he goes, "You do the movie. I have that chef there every day. You eat nothing but his food." Like, he's presenting his very flamboyant Spanish style that Jodorowsky has, but that is how you get good people and how you keep everyone happy. Like
Yeah.
I had a girl do a shoot once that I hired, and she had a food truck in Connecticut, and I hired her, and everybody was extremely happy because they could also always go to the truck, and I just had her stick me with the bill at the end of it all, and everybody was way happier when they had always had some good food to go and get.
Yeah. I could. Yeah.
So that's something to think about is who you would hire to be your caterer on your film in Delaware.
I have two ideas. So yeah.
Cool.
Um.
Because
Yeah, that could be important. I think
you
what?
also have to deal with actresses, and as the saying goes, hot girls have IBS, so you're gonna have to deal with like a lot of particular type of diets and stuff like that. That's the other thing. It's
Yeah, like
you
fucking.
you have to deal with talking to
I'm
your actors.
vegan pescatarian.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
I hate that shit.
That's why.
Kosher.
That's also why I thought of John, because when you watch him in those videos, he does a lot of like vegan type stuff and like health food conscious. Like you have people that don't give a shit about the food, which is like me, like I'll eat whatever, I don't care. And then there's other people that are really particular. So I always try to cater to the really particular. And then you can always just be like, here's some pizzas for the rest of you peons. And they're like, cool. I don't
That's
care.
yeah. Like you want a variety too. Like
Yeah.
I've been like stopping like I've been trying to like also do like healthy shit on top of like garbage. So I
Well,
always try to have like vegetables and shit, like just like carrot. I mean, I'm only doing short films, so I don't really know what I'm talking about. But
But yeah,
But I always try to like have a mix of like natural foods and like garbage.
yes.
You know, that's what you gotta do. All right, get that. Da, 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 da. All right, yeah, my
Oh, yeah.
dad knows some people, and I got a buddy of mine who is would be like probably a crew member that also
That's
cooks
the
and
other.
manages his own food truck.
Yeah, that's the other
So
thing is always if you can always think of somebody that can pull double duty, you know what I mean? Like they can cater, but can they also act in the movie? Um, that
yeah,
that's
and
always
that's why
something.
your friend sounds good. But I also like I have a friend who can do the same, but I don't know because it's not his food truck. He works for it, but it's a very small business. So
But what we're trying to do is allocate resources ahead of time, like how much money would catering cost us? That's one of the most important things because you can get people to show up if there's free food. Do you know what I mean? Like if it's free to them, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'll come and hang out and eat food." The other thing is nothing is better than when the cops show up when you're shooting than to say, "Oh, go ahead and grab something at the food truck." And then they're like, "Cool, thanks." Food
yeah,
always
like if you're like at a park and they're like, "What are you doing?" And
I've had that happen before. Cops came by because we were shooting and we went late, so it was nighttime, and they're coming by. Somebody gets a call and they come by, and we just go, "Hey, how you doing? Grab some food. We're just filming a thing. We're gonna be done in no time." And they're like, "Oh, okay, cool." And they go grab food, and then they leave you alone usually. Um,
yeah, nah, that's a good idea. Yeah, let me think of what else. I mean, I have some ideas of like the structure. I mean, what did you have anything you want to go into? But I have ideas of the structure of the film we could talk
yeah,
about.
yeah. I was gonna leave that up to you because I had posted a meme. I don't know if I sent it directly to you, but I had reposted on my story of the it was what was it how it feels to go through life retard maxing, and it was just what's his name dancing, um
Who?
what's the actor, Mads Milkinson, I think.
No,
Milkinson.
I like him.
Yeah, it's just him dancing around to a song, and I was like, oh, that's the end of the movie. There's nothing better than somebody dancing around to a really great song,
Okay, this is
especially.
how I thought. This is how I thought, and I'll get to that.
But I
Um,
don't know. I just think we're on to something. We're already on to something with the simplicity of that kind of ending and working towards that last scene that we talked about. So
yeah. So, all right. Well,
when it
then
comes
I
to
was gonna say
structure,
like the first 30 in this. I'll tie it to that.
yeah.
The first 30 minutes would be like setting up his background, setting up like what he wants in life, like
Mhm.
with the girl or whatever, the direction of like where his driving is going in his life and the pilot scene and all that. That's like the first 30 minutes. And the middle 30 minutes would be like the conflict with the drug dealers starts, the conflict with the family and him like with the doctor's appointment and all that shit.
Mhm.
Then the potential girlfriend and the real. There's like the one he wants and the one he needs. You set up that.
Yeah,
Then
the love triangle kind of of his own making.
yeah, then the 60 minutes to 90 minutes would be like start with the party scene, then the crazy awkward moment happens. Then he finds who the real person he likes is. Then the drug dealing scene happens that shows he's like pretty immature, but there's like a sort of cliffhanger on the real like person he likes and whether or not they want to get together. Then he drives away, and then there's the accident, and then he ends up as a passenger or something. Or fuck, no, I don't know if he was gonna end up as a passenger at the end. No, fuck all
Yeah.
that. Um, uh, there it would be like him on the street, like the cliff type of thing, and he
Mhm.
gets an invite to hang out from the girl that he like. There was a cliffhanger of, and then he dances after he gets like a positive text. That's like my general.
That's good. I like that. I
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
that the end would be like some positive text that assures something good is gonna happen, and then there's the dancing, whatever. And I also had some other things like the pilot scene. I was gonna have a thing where like the pilot. It's insinuated that the pilot does drugs and coke, but my character doesn't get it. So like he was like asking for like the Denzel Washington hangover cocktail, and I like get it. I don't know. You know what I mean? Something like that where he's like,
Okay.
and then there's the car accident. I was gonna have him cause a car accident in the background, and then at the
Fender
end of the
bend,
film,
like
he
a
restores
fender
the
bend.
karma with who he did the car accident with
Okay.
unintentionally. Like he causes a car accident, we see who it is, and at
Mhm.
the end he like I don't know randomly buys them coffee at I don't it's something like that where like that's fixed.
He he makes amends, or he has his own kind of moment where he makes amends with
But
the
he
person.
doesn't even, I was gonna have it be like he doesn't even know it.
Okay, so it's just the universe has brought them back together to for him to make his mistake correct. Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
I was gonna have and then yeah, that's really kind of a lot of what I came up with. I was gonna have I think I didn't say this, but like a random Tinder date where he gets head. I don't know, that's kinda dumb, but I would be like maybe he has some like
Well,
disgusting fuck buddy that like
I was
he
gonna say there has been, I mean, as an Uber driver, just to say Uber driver because that's what I was, but that I think that's the first time I said that on these streams. But as an Uber driver, you do get invited in, you do get offers once in a while. So
yeah, yeah.
him getting invited in by somebody and being like, you know what, I'm gonna do it, and then it goes horribly wrong.
Like
Like,
the head's back, the teethy head, you
yeah,
know.
it's like to get in there, and then he goes in there and he sees the apartment and just the state of everything. He's like, oh God, I no, this was a mistake. Like as soon as he, like tries to
Stinky
power through.
communist pussy bed or
Yeah,
nihilist pussy.
yeah. It could be like, you ever see the meme where it's the guy going into the apartment and she has all the terrible art on the walls, and then it's him leaving outside, putting his scarf back over his mouth? You ever seen that one?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Like
like
that kind of a scene, like a scene where he goes in and then everything's just like wrong, and he's like, no, no.
yeah. I gotta get my charger real quick.
All right.
Oh shit, Nick Hayden's texting me.
I've been enjoying the reels.
Hold up. I'm not doing my mic anymore because of I'm charging. So, but what's? Can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you fine.
Cool. What'd you ask?
No, I just said I've been enjoying the reels that you've been cutting. They're entertaining.
Good. Yes, my business. I'm getting very skilled at my business, and I recently met a client I did a music video for, and he's hiring me to edit like videos promoting his music that are vertical. So I'm learning how to like work for people.
Good.
Ah, fuck. Yeah, I know. Oh, I don't work. I work with people. I get it. You know, you're
No,
right.
no, no. Oh, no, I wasn't even thinking about that. I just thought it was a funny line. Just like, I'm learning how to work for people. And I was,
No, because I no, I fucking hate this. Like, I was in this like internship class where it teaches you how to get jobs and internships, and this fucking dickhead is like, I don't really know. I just kind of want to work for myself. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
right.
it's
Yeah.
like, and he's on his phone, and everybody's like typing in like fucking paragraphs on this internship, and if it's right for them or not. And it's like, fuck you.
Yeah,
Like,
no way.
you're not gonna be like you have. I'm getting to the point where I'm thinking I have to learn how to work for other people before I work for myself. That's where I'm at right now. and I want to work for myself. And like, if it is my own business, I am kind of working for myself, right? But
Right.
like, that's where I'm at, you know.
Well,
So
then the next step for you is to figure out how to delegate work and outsource to a friend or somebody else. You know what I mean? Like you develop you're almost at the point where you might want to develop an assistant editor. You know what I mean? Where the
I
guy,
am an assistant editor though. Like this guy's editing a vlog, and I'm like the assistant. I'm like getting him the assembly so that he
everybody.
can do the real editing, you know.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like assistant editor does a lot of the boring organization and stuff, and then you come in and make the creative decisions. But that's where if you're getting, it sounds like you're already getting enough people where if you just keep growing, you start to get to the point where you're like, well, I can't, edit it all by myself all the time, but I can make the creative decisions that make it my edit. You know what I mean?
That's why this Mass Day lottery shit's fucking taking so long. Because I'm
Yeah.
like fucking like making. I'm like, okay, now I have to figure out how to make all the FaceTime calls and Zoom calls on a version of the FaceTime Mitsubishi device in the film where so I have to use graphic design to make a fake version of the Mitsubishi FaceTime device that is used by the characters in the film on the documentary. So in the documentary that I'm doing, whenever there's a call on Zoom,
Mhm.
there will be multiple different Mitsubishi devices that are shown that characters are talking to each other on. So it's because it's a fucking Zoom call. So I'm adding all these VHS effects so that when people are having Zoom conversations, it's not just a fucking screen in like 720p. It's like this carefully crafted green screen on a animated device, right?
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
shows them talking, and I show like different angles, so it's set up to look like an old TV, as in the style of Mass Day
Yeah.
Lottery. So I didn't
Can you show
even
me?
like when I'm
Can you pull
what?
up a screen? Do you have a screenshot about what you're talking about? You can pull up a screenshot or something.
Yeah, yeah. Give me a second. Yeah.
Because
So
it
like,
sounds like you're doing multiple layer. You're taking video footage that was shot and then adding a layer to it to make it exist in a kind of a three-dimensional space of its own world. At least
yeah,
that's
like
what
I'm
I'm
not just gonna
thinking.
fucking throw up a Zoom call footage like a fucking dickhead.
Yeah, you've seen a chance for an artistic, cool decision, which is to play into the fact that like this is a device that they use in the movie.
Yeah, so like when I'm not even like editing shit, I'm like figuring out how to like recreate the graphic design of a Mitsubishi
Yeah.
fucking like FaceTime thing from the 80s.
Mhm.
You know, because and I'd rather spend my time like I mean, and I'd rather have somebody help me do that, but I don't really give a fuck. I'm not gonna like act like I'm like in any position to ask somebody help to do that because I'm like I have the time to do it and I don't give a fuck because I know that when it comes out I'm gonna like people are gonna see it and they're gonna be like, oh, this guy can actually make shit.
Yeah.
You know, so like I don't give a fuck how
Well,
long this fucking thing takes. So
that's
I'm
the right
perfectly fine with it taking a long time. So
that's the right way to look at it too, is when it comes out, people are going to see that I don't, like thinking of everything as an advertisement for yourself and your work. Like you can't phone it in ever. You know what I mean? Because in our industry, if you phone it in, it's on the screen. People can see that you phoned it in. You know what I mean?
all right, look at this. So like, look,
Yep.
um,
This is kind of what I was picturing in terms of like what you were dealing with. Yeah, it's
so
like
like this is
multiple layers.
him talking and shit,
Mm-hmm.
and then when it cuts close, it's like this.
Yeah. Cool.
So like, and then this is like the device. Um, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yep. And I see you've looped the device on a timeline above the video footage of Jay talking.
yeah, like I did a green screen, in
Yep.
you know, but this is like the original. Like, I'm not just gonna put this up.
Right. Right.
And then when I'm on screen, like, look at this shit. Like, do you want that on screen? No, you want like this under that, and
Right.
so, and I also like, and then, but I do have like well shot footage, like, um, let me see. Like, I have so many fucking folders open for this shit, bro. Like,
Right.
in the project, like,
Yeah.
here's Jay and Philly.
We should talk. That should be our subject for the next time is data management. You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing
Um,
how much memory we suck up just with our data. There's so much management involved that people
yeah,
don't discuss because it's boring,
yeah. Look
but
at
I
this
think
shit.
it's important.
So I got this shit. Like, this is like the actually well shot one, but it's in my like rape basement. like, look at this shit. And I got like the labs on it. Come on, work with me. Okay. And then I got like an alternate angle on a shitty camcorder, cause like lo-fi effects.
Try and get to know him. Yeah, back when I fast friends.
And then here's Page too. I got Page on here. Let me find it real quick. Let me find it. Shit. Yeah, here's Page.
Sick to my fucking stomach.
The history of that.
Yeah.
And also like DaVinci fucking like Jay showed me hella like things where it's like you just press the button and DaVinci automatically syncs all the audio to any video that matches it
Yeah.
in one folder. Like I fuck with DaVinci so much. Like I got a client that's making me use Adobe and that's perfectly fine, but like the DaVinci's just I don't know. I just can work with it so much better, and its AI tools are much easier to use. I guess I don't know,
Mhm.
and I fuck with it. But like it's easily fixable too. Like there's like I need to get better at Adobe though, because like I like Adobe's features that like when you have projects like it's on a tab thing. So like buddy of mine who I'm working for, I have tabs, right? So the first tab is assembly, second tab is version one of the edit, and then the third tab is clips, so like short form clips. Then the
Mhm.
fourth tab is the final draft of final cut, second cut. You know what I mean? Whatever. So like I'm doing it in an order, and by the time it's done, like he'll have four tabs of shit to work with. You
Right.
know, and he's like telling me all this, and I'm just like absorbing it, and like that's the thing too. Like and this is why I sent you that Tom Cruise thing. It's because if you look at Tom Cruise's interviews when he's talking about learning the industry and stuff, and I know you probably already know way more about the industry than I do, but I'm thinking like he said I know how to use lenses and I use those because I would just be on a set and I would just go up to the department and I would just sit with them and watch them do stuff and learn from them, or I would schedule a call with like the editing department on this like
Mhm.
film I'm on, and I'm just like, hey, how does this work? Why does this lens better? And I'm just like seeing it, I'm just like mind blown that like, and I'm realizing what I'm doing right is it's finding mentors and older people that like can teach me shit, and being like a quiet ass young bull and just be like, yo, bro, like, why?
Yeah.
You know?
Um, a couple of here's something to search. I think it's on Vimeo still, but if you look up advanced filmmaking, Alexander Payne, but you should find out
Oh, I bet that's awesome. I love him.
yeah, that's one of my favorite. Okay, so before Masterclass started and all those things, all those like teaching things, there was these series that I found called Advanced Filmmaking, and it was real questions like interesting questions that they were asking, like producers and filmmakers, to the point where they were like straight up being like, "Don't date any actresses." You know, like they were giving like very very real cool answers. And I think they stopped because they were like, I think some of the interviews offended some people because they were like, I don't think we can do these anymore because it was too honest almost. But if you can find advanced filmmaking, Alexander Payne, watch that one, and anything else from advanced filmmaking if it's still out there. I think I've downloaded a couple of those on my local drive because I was just like, yo, this is too good. But he has a good it's a good discussion about money, and he was like, I was like living like a college student until I was 30 when I was making my movies. And he was like, after I made my first film, I still had to borrow money from my dad to pay my taxes. Like, it's real conversations, you know what I mean? Like, not the glitzy kind of takes. It's like the real working class kind of guys that actually are in production that make these movies happen.
Yeah,
Those are good interviews. Yeah.
I hate like people that put a wall up about shit.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I remember I messaged this like film guy. He's like a straight union cinematographer for local 600 in Philly, and he works on like any Philly show that like is done here. It's like Task, fucking Mayor of Easttown, or like morning. I think Morning Show was in here for a bit for like an episode or something, or a fucking Drewski Could Have Been Records, So I hit him up because I'm in this like resume class, and the teacher in the resume class is actually really good about it. She's like, don't go to LA to work unless you plan on living there after you're done your semester. You'll burn your connections and then they'll forget you in a year. Don't do it.
Right.
And don't waste your money. But anyway, so like with this cinematographer, I'm asking him like, can you send me your resume and I can maybe base my resume on that? And he's like, nobody gives a fuck about your resume or your website. Nobody gives a fuck. Just like be normal and go on a set, meet people, and then they'll hire you if they like you.
100%.
Nobody cares. Just
I
know what you're doing and be quick, and then you're good.
I hired I won't say her name because she's still active and working in a very predominant company in Hollywood, but I remember I hired her on one of the sets that I was like just a self-funded project where I hired this crew from Brooklyn to come up and hired like a truck. I spent like 5 grand on the project or whatever, and she came to work on it. And then later she was getting an interview. She doesn't work there anymore, but I'll say Sony Pictures in New York. And she was like, "Do you have any advice or anything?" I was like, "Honestly, dude, just show them you can hang. Show them you're not gonna like call the cops on them if they blow a line on a Friday out at a bar. Do you know what I mean?" And
Yeah.
she was like, "Okay." And and she got that job, and she has gone way. She's hanging out with like A-listers and that she's just friends with now because that's all it is. It's just like, don't be a weirdo. Just work on the project and go home at night and go to bed and then wake up the next morning, and don't be blowing everyone's phone up, trying to give them your next project or pitch this or talk about art all the time. It's a job to these people, and a lot of the people that are good, it's just a job and they don't want to talk about it all the time. And they just want to know they're around people that aren't gonna, you know, call the cops on them.
Fuck
Or
them over. Yeah, like that's the
yeah,
thing too. Like especially like I don't know. That's a rule for anything: is don't be a weird freak who calls the cops on people for hitting. That's why I love like that story. Like I remember, I don't know. Like you could just tell like when people like if. All right, so I'm on the road to a comedy gig, filming it in DC,
uh-huh.
and the guy who's coming with me, he's the gaffer, and I'm his grip, and he's like, yo, I cannot drive unless I am drunk. And I'm just like, all right, we're
Okay.
both getting paid. I don't give a fuck. We're both
Thanks for
getting like
letting me know.
hundreds. He's getting more than me. I'm getting less than him. It's like, what am I gonna cancel the shoot and like be like, hey, we gotta call another gaffer, man? Like he can't drink, he can't drive unless he drinks.
Right.
Let's get it going. Like, and he's Mexican too. You really think I'm not gonna trust him if he's fucking Mexican and drinks all the time?
Yeah, he
Like
probably knows.
that's like
He probably
telling
knows
like a
his.
German not to drink on in October. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing? You
No.
know?
Not happening.
Yeah, it's like but also like I think Mexicans are like they're just I don't know they're more it's like medieval guys they cannot work unless they're drunk or something. You know what I mean? Probably
I,
like
I I've worked with plenty of people that had to have some sort of drug in them when they were or drinks in them when they were working, and they worked better that way.
it's a
I know.
cultural thing. As long as you're
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
handling nuclear power plant, I think we're good. This is like a film set at a comedy club,
Right.
So
Mhm.
yeah.
Exactly. I liked it. I like what we got here. That little text moment is perfect. So simple, so obvious, but that little text at the moment at the end that he gets that lifts him up with like ends on a moment of optimism. I like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Yeah, that's right. That's
It's
like what you
perfect.
got to do.
It's perfect, dude.
Good. All right. All right, let's wrap it up and I'll call you. I think we got a good like hour in, like 45 minutes or something.
Yeah, give me well, let me call you because I'm just gonna download this before or process it or whatever before
Yeah, that's
before
right. All right, have a good night. Bye bye.
peace. Good show. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.